real-life literacy coach Brooke Drinnon. I'm here at Surgoinsville Middle School with Miss Megan Mauk, 6th grade ELA teacher, and Miss Lori Davis, RTI coordinator. And as part of your school's literacy action plan, you chose to focus on building leadership capacity. As a result of that, you recently both got the chance to visit the Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta, Georgia. Could you just tell us a little bit about your visit, some of your biggest takeaways, or some of the things that you appreciated most about your experience?
Well, my visit to Ron Clark meant so much to me. As a veteran teacher of more than 20 years, I was set in my ways. A lot of things that I was doing, I knew they were successful, but things had just kind of leveled out for me. And my visit to Ron Clark was a rejuvenation process for me. I brought back all these new techniques and new excitement, and I feel like a new teacher again. So to me, it's if you've been teaching 22 years or 2 years, Ron Clark can be beneficial to you.
And I'm a new teacher, so this is just my second year, and I felt an extreme validation in my teaching style, because as a new teacher, it's very hard to kind of find your teacher mojo and to go to a school where people are very open and willing to share all their ideas was just very validating to me that what I take pride in is very important. And I build those relationships, I take that time, and I think going to a school that took time to learn every single student really validated that I was doing the right thing by taking that time to do it. And as a new teacher, it was just really exciting to get to meet some of my idols
Yes.
as a teacher. It was like a surreal experience, because I have grown up watching the Ron Clark story and being just a big fan, if that's what you call it. So it was just an excellent experience.
Awesome. So what did your visit teach you about literacy instruction? What new ideas did you pick up, or new strategies did you take away from your visit?
Well, at Ron Clark, I truly began to understand that you cannot underestimate your students. Don't ever think that you need to pick literature just because some of the students are here. Teach up here. Find things that are going to inspire all students, and then you have students like she talked about. I want to go to recess, I want to read. And these aren't these students, these are the students you thought were here. And that was a big takeaway from Ron Clark. Teach up here. Don't always set your bar down here. Find things that you know are going to be challenging to all students and use them, and use them correctly. Yeah, you were in the STEM and social studies. I was, when you go to Ron Clark Academy, they break you off into these pods, and they steer you in the direction that they think would be most beneficial to you as a teacher. And I saw a lot of literacy classes, and Megan saw a lot of STEM and social studies classes. And with the literacy classes, it was amazing to me to see how really, truly excited students were about being there. I mean, you go into a regular ELA classroom, students are structured, they're sitting there, but the excitement sometimes is not there. These kids were sitting on the end of their seats. They were hooked. The teacher, and this was wonderful, he was talking to us about read aloud. He was like, teachers know when to find that juicy spot in a book. He was like, my kids love it. I read to them for 15 minutes. They're on the edge of their seat and they're begging for more. They're like, please don't stop. And so they were reading this book, and he finds the juicy spot, and they all race to see who's going to get that book first so they can read ahead. Because what is it you tell us? Don't ever tell a student not to read ahead, because they're going to...
They read ahead every time. I do that in my classroom. I make it a rule that you're not allowed to read ahead in a classroom novel, just so they will.
Exactly.
They will beat each other to the library to be the first one to get the book. I think she only has a couple copies of some of the read alouds that I do. And I've watched kids get really excited and race out of the room to go get the rest of it.
Yes. This teacher, he was like, this is my gateway. This is my gateway to literacy. This is what I use so that students are reading in class, after class, taking it home, and instead of asking for recess, they're asking for reading. And I'm like, that's what I want. That's what I want here at this school. And a kid to get excited like they did with the Christmas Carol this year after we came back and we started that novel, kids were begging.
Yeah, they begged for it.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
So I did a Christmas Carol, and I'm not a classics novel person at all. If I choose something to read, I typically read more of a young adult, like new book. So for me to pick A Christmas Carol was kind of out of character, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try this with my kids and see if I can get them hooked on anything. Because I mean, I can get them hooked on Harry Potter. That's something they enjoy. It's something I enjoy. So I thought I'd branch out and try something new. Because one of the teachers at Ron Clark talked about the novels that she used with her kids, and they were like high school novels she was using with, 6th and 7th grade students, and I was so impressed. I was like, I bet my kids can do that. So I come back with A Christmas Carol, and I sit down with my kids, and we start reading, and we talk about the fact that he wrote it in 6 months, and that every word meant something. Because if you're writing, or 6 weeks, not 6 months, if you write a novel in 6 weeks, you have a purpose, and you're trying to get that across very quickly. So every word meant something. And I had a student in the middle of class go, I've got to say something. And I'm like, okay, what are you going to say? And he's like, I have to tell you that Charles Dickens is my favorite author now because everything he says means something. And he said everything is purposeful. There's nothing in this book that doesn't have a purpose. And he says it in such a way that I have to stop and think about everything that I read. And he said, and a lot of books don't do that for me. And for me, that was really validating that, okay, my kids can read novels that are, so much bigger than what I thought needed to happen in my classroom, which was, something fun all the time, which Christmas Carol is great fun, but it was more of that classic, and the language in it is just something new to them. Growing up in I grew up in Surgoinsville, so the language that is used in that novel is very foreign to even myself sometimes. So I think I had a great experience taking that from Ron Clark.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And could you tell us also about just when you were reading aloud to them about the students choosing to stay in?
So I have also found the power in finding the juicy spot. After going to Ron Clark, I really took a step back because I wasn't reading aloud enough to my students before that. So after, I really found the power in that again, because you get caught up in, I've got to teach this, 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 and this, and sometimes we forget to slow down, read to our kids. So we were starting A Christmas Carol, and they were learning about Marley's ghost, and Marley had just shown up, and I was like, and that's all the time we have, and they were in shock that I would cut them off so soon, and a student was like, wait, Miss Mauk, we can't stop here. We have to know, is this a real ghost? Is this really happening to him? And I was like, well, you've got recess now, so maybe we'll just wait till tomorrow and we'll find out what happens. And they begged to stay in from recess to read a book. So I feel like that's the big teacher win for the year.
Definitely. What were you able to bring back from your visit to your school as far as your leadership roles, and how were you able to share what you learned while you were there, and how did your coach help you with that?
Well, this year at Surgoinsville Middle School, we're implementing the house system, which is based on Ron Clark Academy. And I truly did not have an understanding of how the house system worked until I visited Ron Clark. And I could see in action how these students built, relationships, not just with each other, but with their teachers, and how they became a little community within the school, and they were working and doing things for the betterment of everyone. It was just a really good experience to see that. And I thought it was more about competition and more about building just groups up, and it's not. It's about building individuals into communities and those relationships. And you have helped me so much. Our coach here at Surgoinsville Middle School has kept us motivated. She always, or maybe you always, have conversations with us. You want to know what's going on and how we're implementing the Ron Clark Academy into our instruction, and how and giving us ways to share with each other. And that I truly appreciate. It is, and I almost get teary-eyed when I start talking about this, but I truly want to thank you for the opportunity. As a veteran teacher in East Tennessee, that might not have been an opportunity that was afforded to me. You know, I'm within 10 years of retirement, but I still have good years left that I can inspire and teach children. And without this opportunity for truly rejuvenating me as a teacher to make me feel young again as an educator and try new things, I say thank you, because like I said, this probably was an opportunity that may not have been afforded to me. Well, so thank you.
You're very welcome, and those are the things that we love seeing through rural life all the time, just rejuvenating people and bringing new ideas in and strategies. So that's really awesome. And just one more thing, one more question. Do you guys have any advice for other schools who may be thinking about visiting Ron Clark?
Send anyone,
everyone.
Send administration, send veteran teachers, send new teachers, send the teacher that is worn out, send the teacher that is always jumping on their desk already. Send everybody. It's not an experience that is limited to a certain type of teacher or even just to a teacher. Send anyone, everyone that wants to go. Send
go.
Director of schools. Send the director of schools.
We saw them. Yes.
I mean, send anyone that is open to it, or send people that aren't open to it. I think anybody can learn something, and just the experience is unlike anything.
It will make you a better teacher.
It will. My mom
It will make you a better teacher.
I talk about it all the time. I still talk about it. And it's still, I mean, it's been months since we went, but it's still
we talk about it every
very
day.
present in our lives. So I don't think it's something we'll soon forget.
No, it was truly a life-changing experience for me. Thank you again.
Thank you very much,
Thank
and
you.
that's all.
Yes.